friends, welcome to episode 175 of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. My name is Kellie, and you can find me anywhere online as Nadir Tani. Sit up. I'm coming to you today from my home in Central Florida, and today is Monday, May 27th. It's Memorial Day, so I have the day off work, and it is wonderful. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back, and if you are a new viewer, I hope that you find something that you can connect with today. It's 1,000,000 degrees out here, and even with this loose short sleeve shirt and a pair of shorts on, I feel like it's still too much clothes. I think I need to invest in like sundresses, like loose and flowy sundresses, because the way the sun be looking directly at Florida is obscene. Yesterday, was it yesterday? Anyway, the other day, I wanted to go outside and like take a walk, like had the desire to take a walk, and I look at my phone and it said the UV rating or the UV levels extreme. I was like, never mind, I'll just stay in the house. Extreme? What does that even mean? Anyhow, because it's 1,000,000 degrees outside, that hum that you hear in the background is a fan that I brought outside just so that I could not melt while filming this. Why don't you film inside, Kellie? Because it's Memorial Day and everybody's home. So, let us jump into bright spots. So, bright spots are a section of the podcast where I ask you all to share good things that have happened to you in the past, however long. Share those things down in the comments. In the last episode, there was one bright spot, so I will share it with you now. And it comes from Marianne W. And it says, my bright spot is I got an orchid and a Jimmy Beans Wool's gift certificate from my sons for Mother's Day. Let's hope I can keep the orchid happy. I know nothing about orchids at all, but yesterday I was talking to one of my friends, and evidently she has the magic touch when it comes to orchids, and she loves them, she keeps them alive, they are blooming for her, everything. The orchid vibes are hers, evidently. So I hope that those orchid vibes are yours as well, Marianne, and that you are able to keep it happy. That was the only bright spot that was shared on last episode. For me, I had written down a bright spot when I recorded last episode, but I didn't share it because there were so many in the comments. But my friend Tiffany and I have started this practice of getting together once a month and kind of planning out different activities that we want to do over the weekends in the coming month, just so that we're actually doing things and not just working all week and then, you know, Saturday and Sunday are preparing to work the next week, you know, that we have things that we do and events that we go to and memories that we make, right? We get together on a Sunday and we try to pick a different coffee shop or a different meetup place or things like that to go to. And the last one that we went to was Stardust Coffee in Orlando. I think that area counts as Orlando. I don't know. But it was the cutest little coffee shop. So we got something to eat. We got some coffee and tea. And then we kind of sat and, you know, planned our activities. And then they also ended up having a music show. I don't think it was an open mic because there were like people in little, not little groups, but there was a high school jazz club that sang. And I'll see if I can put in video. was super cool. It was nice to see the young people out there doing stuff. But yeah, it was really cool. And that coffee shop is open, I want to say, until midnight. It's like 7 a.m. to midnight every day. And it's not so far outside of my regular, area to be like, oh, I wouldn't go there. So I think it's really cool that I now have a new place on my list of places to go. So that was really cool. So that was my bright spot from last episode, and occasionally I think back on it and I'm like, that was really cool. I'm glad that we went, and I'm really glad that Tiffany and I are creating this practice, because not only is it just fun to get together and like choose things that we can do, but it's also really nice to have things to look forward to, because the work week gets bleh, and it's wonderful to be like, okay, when I get through this week, on Sunday we're gonna do whatever it is, or just to have something that's non-work related to look forward to as like a goal. So thumbs up for that new practice, and for hanging out with my friend, and to be able to make these plans and do these things and go to these places. Also, speaking of Tiffany, today is her birthday, so wish Tiffany a happy birthday in the comments, please. I think she would love that. So that's everything for bright spots. We don't have any other admin, so let's just jump into the craftiness, which again I am surrounded with, and that makes me very happy. We are 100% hydrate or dihydrate out here. All right, so finished objects. The first finished object that I have is my pair of laid edges socks. This is a pattern by Kellie Macpherson. This is what they look like. This yarn is by the Crochet Cove. It is her DK base, and the colorway is Middle School Blues. I knit these from my aunt, and I love that cable. It's called a caliper cable, if you didn't know, and it is super easy to do. I think I'm gonna knit myself one of these, because like I said last episode, I have a pair somewhere, and I want another one. But I think I will knit mine, I will knit mine in fingering weight so that I can wear them regularly. But I wanted to knit my aunt a pair of cozy socks, and that is them. So they are finished. They are ready to be mailed off to my aunt to keep her feet cozy. So there's that. Is there anything else I wanted to say about those? No, it is a free pattern. If you decide to make it, it works up so quick. It's delightful how quickly it works up. All right, my next finished object, I showed it mostly finished on last episode, and that is this little fanny pack crossbody bag. Last episode, it just needed to have the lining and the zipper put in, which I have done. Ta-da! I just tacked the zipper in like that, and I sewed, well, basically what I ended up doing was sewing a tiny little inside pouch, and then tacking the zipper to the crocheted outer bag. That's definitely going to be the back. So this yarn is the Red Hard Granny Square all-in-one in the colorway Soft White Amethyst. I worked up only the first 4 rows. Yeah, I worked up only the first 4 rows so that, I kept those vibrant colors and kind of omitted the soft white outside row. And then I used some other purple yarn that I had in stash for the strap. I used this yesterday when I was out running errands and stuff, and I think that if I make this again, I will make the strap a little bit shorter, maybe like 4 to 6 inches shorter, so that it holds closer to my body. But this was really cute. The only other thing that I don't really like about this piece is the zipper. For whatever reason, the zipper that I use is kind of a sticky one, so it makes it a little bit hard to zip up and unzip. But other than that, I really like it. I sewed the lining using my serger. Really excited to use that. I used the serger to sew the lining, and then my sewing machine to sew in the zipper, and then, like I said, hand stitched the actual zipper to the crochet body. But it's done. I like it. Huzzah. Next finished object that I have are head wraps. So I mentioned in the last episode, I think I mentioned wanting to do it. I think so. But I mentioned in the last episode that I had seen this set of reels on Instagram by that artist Tony, and basically crocheting up this mesh head wrap for her locks. And for the longest time I have wanted to do something like that, and for whatever reason it just never really clicked in my head what I needed to do to make that idea come to life. And when I saw hers, I was like, well, duh. So I made this one. This was the first one that I made. Looking at it like this makes me feel like, girl, you do not have that much hair. But when I put it on, yes, I do have that much hair, and it is a lot. So I basically just kind of ball my hair up, shove it in this sock, and then wrap these long straps around it like this, and it's, keeps all your hair in. The only thing that bothers me when I wear this is just the weight of my locks. Like, my hair is heavy. So I made this one. This yarn is Big Twist Value in the color dark teal, and I used an entire skein for this whole thing. This one I made almost exactly to her specifications in her videos. The only difference that I made on this one was after she finishes the increases for, like, I guess the crown, she continues working into the stitch instead of into the chain space. I did not want to look at what I was doing, so I decided to work into the chain spaces because they're easier to feel out. And then another thing that I did was, instead of continuing in joined rounds, I shifted to a spiral, and I'm looking for where that happened. Why can't I find it? Oh, here it is. Right here. So instead of, when I got to the end of this row, was it this one? Hello? Whatever. Instead of finishing the row and slip stitching to join and then chaining 3 and then going around, I just skipped over that stitch that I would have joined to and worked in the next chain space, which then shifted the row up and allowed me to continue in a spiral. So I spiraled until it was long enough, and then I finished the spiral by, instead of double crocheting in the next space, I did a single crochet in the next space to just step it back down. Got the straps, everything like that. Hooray. And then this is my second one that I did. I followed the same situation up here to working it as she wrote it in the increases, and then shifting to a spiral, working until it was the same height or length, whatever, as the first one, and then shifting down to a single crochet to even out that spiral. The difference that I did here was with the straps. So the way that she wrote making the straps, you do a chain and then you like stitch around the hat, and then you do another chain and then work back and forth like that. I think I decided I didn't want to do that because I don't remember why, honestly. So I instead did, I think it had to do with like the thickness of the brim that you end up with compared to the thickness of the straps, which in hindsight doesn't really matter. Like, who's paying attention to that? But what I decided to do instead was a foundation single crochet. So I did foundation single crochet this long, and then single crocheted around, and then foundation single crochet the other way, and then worked back and forth for a couple rows so I had a nice even brim and strap situation. This one I worked on last weekend, and I finished it like super fast because last weekend one of my cousins graduated from college. So it was a cousin on my dad's side, so we don't get to see them. We, like, on my dad's side, we don't get together a whole lot, so we kind of used it as like a mini family reunion. So last weekend, Lamar and I drove up to Atlanta to visit with the family. It was really cool. So I started this in the car on the way to Atlanta, and finished it the next morning at her graduation, which was really fun. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this? I was listening to Almost There, which is a twisted tale, I think it's called, by Farah Roshan, I think, at the high recommendation of Akira, who is the Knitting Annihilator. She has been on this reading kick, which is super inspiring, and every time I watch her talk about books that she's excited about reading, I'm like, I want to read books. I need to get back into reading. So she just finished that book recently, and she loved it, and she was raving about it. So I went in my library's like ebook app, and they had the audiobook. So I was listening to the audiobook and crocheting along with this. And that was really fun. She and I are actually going to do like a read and make along together, and we're going to read another twisted tale. Which one are we doing? I think this one is called Go the Distance. I don't remember the author, but it's a retelling of Hercules, the Disney movie version of Hercules. Almost There is a retelling of The Princess and the Frog. So, and it was good. I enjoyed it. There were a couple parts that I was just like, but overall I enjoyed the book. So hopefully, or not Almost There, Go the Distance will be just as good. I need to figure out what project I'm going to make while we read through that book together. And I have like, maybe I have less than a week to figure it out because we're supposed to start it in June. So there's that. So that's finished. I'm going to show you this finished object, and then we're going to go back to the head wraps because that brings us over into works in progress. Anywho, I made a tank top. This is another project that I was working on during my Atlanta trip. This tank top is so comfy. It is made using the Karen Colorama bamboo blend from Joann. I have this yellow one because I'm making, this is a maker plan. I'm making another one of these. I'm gonna do it. But this yarn is from Joann. It is 60% acrylic, 20% nylon, and 20% bamboo or viscose from bamboo. It's very soft, very light. I love it. This tank top used, I would say, like maybe 1 1/3 ball of that yarn, and it's so light and breezy, and I loved wearing it. The only thing is, this yarn is not dreadlock friendly. Like, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have already seen this, but I wore this the other day, and I had my locks down. I'm just, going about my day, and I glanced down and saw lint in my locks, and I was like, oh no. So one thing I have noticed is my locks have a rougher texture. They're not like super like soft and spongy or anything, but they're more like rough. And so whenever, like, all of my hand knits or crocheted outfits, sweaters, what have you, the upper back is fuzzy. Pills all day. So I looked at my locks, and the inside, like, all of this was just peppered with this color fuzzies. And it took me like an hour to brush them all out. But this top is so comfy that I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. So either I will commit to brushing an hour's worth of brushing to get the lint out of my hair after wearing this top, or this top, or I will, wear a head wrap with it, or my hair up in a bun so that it's not touching the back of this, because Florida appropriate. Like, when I find Florida appropriate yarns, we're gonna have to work with it. We're gonna have to make the necessary adjustments, because baby, I was feeling easy breezy. This is what I should have been wearing today, because this is not easy breezy. So that top was freestyle. Oh, I wanted to show you. This top was freestyled, and one of my favorite little details that I made, or that I put on here, this lint, is around the edges. So I crocheted the body, and then I crocheted a border around all of the openings, and then into, this one's cleaner, then into the space between the border and the body, I did a slip stitch. So you can see like that little chain detail that goes in between the body and the border. And I really like that detail. It's subtle, but it also gives structure. It gives structure to those openings, so they're not going to stretch out, which is a thing that happens a lot with crochet. Your pieces tend to stretch out, but I love it. So I will be making another one of those. This piece I really enjoyed. Will be doing again. I have the yellow yarn to remake it. I kind of think I might get another color of that yarn. Maybe like a cool tone color. But we'll see. So jumping back to the head wraps, I have this small one that I made. This one is for my brother Aaron. So when we were in Atlanta, and I finished my head wrap, I put it on, and I was checking to make sure that I liked it. And Aaron was like, "Ooh, sis, can you make me one?" So I was like, "Sure." You know, because I don't often make things for my brothers. So like if they specifically ask for something, I'm gonna do it. So he asked me to make him a blue one. And I was like, "Do you want any other colors?" And he was like, "Well, I could do black." And I could tell that, you know, he, like, Aaron's the kind of person where he doesn't want you to like go through a lot of changes, you know, behind him. So I'm like, all right, so I'll do the black and the blue, and I'm also gonna do a gray one. So I was working on the gray one last night and finished it. And as you can see, his locks are quite a bit shorter than mine. So I didn't want to make the super long one for him. So this one is like half the length of mine. So I have that one finished. I just have to weave in the little ends. And in works in progress, I'll show you the blue and the black ones. And I have made some changes to the way that I'm following the pattern by that artist Tony, but it's still overall the same thing. The last finished object that I have, I only have photos, and they are my mental health awareness love bombs. So I put up a display of the mental health awareness ribbons and their words of encouragement at my job. And I am so happy that I think it's been up for about 2 weeks now. No, maybe week and a half, I don't know. But the students have been taking them. One of my coworkers' daughter is works with the student workers who give tours to prospective students. So she came and got some of them to put down at their welcome desk, which I think is really cool. And I'm just glad that they were well received. One of the things that warms my heart in reference to this project is when I see students with one of the ribbons like on their backpack. I'm just like, or like I'm walking down the hallway and I see a faculty member who has one in their office. It makes me feel good. Like the mad crocheting was worth it. And I absolutely love this project, and I will continue doing it as long as I can. So there's the picture. That was what it looked like when I set it up. I think I just have that main picture. If there's any other pictures, I'll drop them in as well, like while I was speaking. But that is everything for finished objects. So let's jump into works in progress. Whenever I'm sitting out here and I have like my cup, I have to look inside because I picked it up earlier and there was this huge ant on it, like flip you down and take your money size ant. And so I'm low-key scared that I'm going to pick it up and there's going to be a giant ant inside the straw, and then I like drink the ant and it like bites me in the throat, and then I have to go to the hospital because now my throat is swelling up because I drank an ant. Anyway, works in progress. So since we were talking about the hats, here are the bodies of the blue and black head wraps for Aaron. The difference that I'm doing is, I kind of explained it when I was talking about my second hat. I make the body in one piece, and then to do the straps, I'll do a foundation single crochet, then single crochet around, and then do another foundation single crochet, and then work back and forth for the strap / brim. So that's all I need to do on these two, and then they will be done and ready to mail off to him. There isn't anything. Oh, oddly enough, when he told me that he wanted a blue hat, I was like, okay, yeah, cool, I've got blue. No, I didn't. I don't understand how I don't have basic colors. Like, I had sky blue, I had navy blue, I had like blue, variegated blue, but I didn't have this blue. And this is Aaron's favorite color. Like, regular blue is his favorite color. So I was just like, well, I gotta go to the Joann and get a skein of blue yarn. So yeah. So that led me, realizing I didn't have that blue, led me to really want to catalog my yarn stash, specifically like my acrylics, and like colorful yarn, like blanket yarn or hat yarn, stuff like that I'll use a lot of, because it never fails. I always come up with some idea of something that I want to do, and one of the colors I do not have. So I want to do a catalog where I make note of what specific colors I have in my collection, so that I don't run into a situation like this, because I hate it when I have in my head, like I planned in my head to do a thing and then I can't because I don't have the color. So annoying. Much hate. So that's those. My next work in progress is my project that has been going everywhere with me. It is yet another Secret Summer Crop by Jessie Mae Martinson. This is as far as I've gotten. This pattern has basically become my vanilla sock in my bag pattern. When I discovered that I can knit the whole top out of one skein of like sock yarn, like one 100-gram skein of sock yarn, yes, especially since I am a single skein buying girly. I have so many random single skeins of yarn that what am I gonna do with? Make socks or make a tank top? So the tank top has become my go-to because I can knock out a whole skein of yarn out of my stash, and it's something that I can wear in Florida. So basically what I do is like 10 rows of 1x1 ribbing, and then knit until I reach 14 inches, do the back, do the front, wham bam thank you ma'am. The shoulders or the straps, I do crochet, single crochet, 4 single crochet stitches, yeah, across, and then I make them, I forget how long, and then I do a slip stitch, like 2 rows of slipped stitch up the strap to stop it from stretching, and then that's it. That's how I make the tank tops. I put the straps going straight back, I don't do the crisscross, and that's it. This is yarn from Stash. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty and I really like it. I like the speckles. Let's see, what else do I have in works in progress? Oh yes, my next work in progress I only have a photo of. So I was in the Dollar Tree, as you are, and found that the Dollar Tree had like 2-part epoxy resin. So I bought some of that, and they also had these round coaster molds. So I got some of those because I was like, okay, that's kind of cool. I can play around with that. And then recently, I don't know where the idea came from, but I was like, you know what? I could take those coaster molds, pour, resin, let that set, and then drill a hole in the middle and make it into a spindle. So that is what I am currently working on. I didn't use the Dollar Tree resin. I actually had a resin craft kit that I got from Five Below that had a 2-part resin mix in it. So I used that, mixed it up, put some colors, some glitter, some stars and stuff in it, and just kind of played around with that last night. So they are still setting. Didn't find out until today that it takes 72 hours for it to be set properly. What? This is gonna take forever. So we're like not even a whole 24 hours in, waiting for that to harden. But I really like the color, how it came out, the stars and stuff that I put in it. I had a lot of fun creating those. So my next thing is going to be drilling the hole. And as I'm talking to y'all right now, I think it will make more sense for me to drill the holes now before they're completely set. Is that stupid? That might be stupid. I don't know. We're flying by the seat of our pants with this, honestly. I made 2, so maybe I'll drill the hole in 1 and see what happens. If you drop resin, does it break? Will it shatter? Things that I need to Google. Mental note. Anywho, so there was the picture. I'm really excited about them. I have been having so much fun just kind of playing around in this resin world. I also had, since I had leftover resin after pouring those 2 coasters, I went ahead and filled up as many little shapes as I could in one of my other molds so that I didn't waste the resin. And those I will drill small holes in and make like progress keepers out of them. / earrings, who knows, whatever. So yeah, I am excited to see how that will work. Speaking of spinning, I have been getting the spinning itch again. So don't be surprised if next episode we actually have Kalisha and the babe again, because I think it's coming back. I think so. We love it when the crafts come back around. It's delightful. Maker plans. So I already told y'all about the tank that I'm making another one of. So that will be started soon. I have been kind of not sorting through a lot of my stuff, but like Lamar and I got a new storage unit, so we've been moving things into storage that we don't touch a whole lot. So that has me kind of going through my craft supplies and things that I've had kind of squirreled away. And this wasn't entirely squirreled away. It was in my view. And I always knew that I wanted to do something with this. So this yarn was given to me for Christmas by one of my cousins. It was like this collection of these small skeins of acrylic yarn, and it's like a DK, a sport or DK weight. And it was like a lot of them. So of course I put them in rainbow order because things organized neatly. And then I decided to cake them up. And it has been sitting in this cake for years now. This, I want to say this Christmas was a pre-COVID Christmas. So we've at least had this for what, 3+ years. So what I want to do with this is crochet a granny rectangle and just kind of have it as a little lap blanket, because it's not going to be that big. At least I don't think so. So, but I do want to make it into something so I don't just have this giant ball of yarn hanging out. So I will be making that, just a regular granny rectangle. And then, what else do I have? So many of my stories are going to start with I was in the Dollar Tree, because I love going into the Dollar Tree for inspiration, like craft inspiration. And this is one that I came across the other day. I came across this little bag, this little tote bag. It's one of the, you know, cheapy little tote bags. And I liked the faces on it, the little melty smiley faces. And as soon as I saw this, I immediately thought, cut this off and do a crochet like topper for this bag. So that's kind of the inspiration that I have going with this. This is the yarn that I'm going to use because coincidentally it is a perfect match. This is yarn from my stash. It is Cozy Wool Merino. This type of yarn, oh, let me tell you the blend. It's from Michaels, and it is 55% superwash merino, 45% anti-pilling acrylic. This yarn is back in Michaels as Merino Luxe, Luxe Merino, Luxe Wool, something like that. It's got Luxe and something woolly in the title, but it's the same yarn, different label, and different colors. But I've had this in my stash for a couple years, and I think that pairing it with this fun little print will be a great summer project. Because we all know I'm a bag lady, and I do love my bags. This and the next project I'm going to tell you about are going to be my entries into Hannah of the Cozy Cottage Crochets, Lisa Frank, Lisa Frank along. She was inspired to have a Lisa Frank knit along, crochet along when she found the Rave yarn at Joann. That yarn is so neon. It is scathingly neon. I looked at one of them. They have one of the colorways, I think, is orange and yellow, and my eyes actually started hurting. It was that bright. But she is making a Just Feel Better shawl, which is a pattern by me, so that makes me feel really loved. But she's making a Just Feel Better shawl out of the pink and orange colorway of the Rave yarn. And every time I go into Joann, I want to buy this yarn, but I'm like, Kalisha, do you just want it because it's pretty? Yes. Do you have a project for it? No. Leave it on the shelf. Good job. But so this is going to be an entry for the Lisa Frank make along, and then my next maker plan is going to be another entry. So I have this, I think it's actually marketed as needle punch yarn, but it's basically fingering weight acrylic yarn that is meant to be used for punch needling. And I found a whole lot of them at a thrift store a couple years ago, and I have a few neons in that collection, and immediately I thought about using them for this project. So I want to make like a granny square bandana because the universe wants me to make a granny square bandana. A couple weeks ago, Tiffany and I were gallivanting around Orlando, and we went to Target, and there was this sunflower granny square bandana where it's just the squares, you know, in the shape of a triangle, right? Basic, if you crochet, you can do this. You can do it by just looking at it and be like, okay, this is how it's made. Whoop, whoop, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. So I was like, oh, that's really cute. I should make one of those. Put it back on the shelf. We go traipsing about, end up in another store. There's another bandana, same style, different colorway. Then they had a striped one. They had a wavy one. They had a solid one. Just all of these. And then they were in different places in the store. So I was just like, okay, it's meant to be. I have to make this. So my plan is to make, I'm kind of going between a regular solid granny square, like a small granny square in my neon colors, and then joining them with the black yarn in kind of inspired by those black fuzzy posters that Lisa Frank used to always have, and also kind of alluding to the illustration style where there was like the thick black lines and the bold colors. So either I'm going to do the solid grannies and then join them in black, or I might go through my granny square books and see if there are other small granny designs that I could do for my little bandana. I will definitely be making one. There might be multiple, but this is something that is going to happen. And when Hannah told me that she wanted to do this Lisa Frank make-along, that was the first project that popped into my head. So that'll be happening. Excited about it. We love it. We do love a make-along. And I think that's everything. Oh no, that's not everything from my works in, or not my works in progress, my maker plans. So I mentioned these hats that I'm making for my brother Aaron. My brother Andrew asked me to make a crop top. So I was like, yeah, sure, I can make you a crop top. What do you want it to look like? He's like, can you make it black? Yes, I can make you a black crop top. Then he goes, can you put designs on it? And I was like, well, what kind of designs are we talking about? And he sends me a picture of 2 of his tattoos. So Andrew is on his way to being heavily tattooed, and all of his tattoos are anime themed. So I'm like, okay, I can try. So I basically looked at his tattoos and then found like actual images of these symbols from the anime. There are 2 different shows, I believe. And then one of them I have completed charting. And the second one I'm still working on charting it. It has a lot of round edges. So I'm just like, we're still working. We're still working. I'm determined. But this is the first piece that I finished charting. And I will be putting that across the chest of his crop top. And then this is the second one that I'm working on charting. The chart's not finished for it, but that one we talked about putting on the back, like the lower, either the lower right side or the lower left side, we're not sure, but like at the bottom corner of the back of the crop top. Initially we were like, oh, you know, just put it in the middle, like the center back, but then I was just like, nah, he has long locks like I do, and if I'm finna put color work, if I'm finna chart all of this stuff, color work knitted, my dude, your hair is not finna block it, okay? Like, I need both of these things to be on show when you wear this, like. So the plan is to knit the majority of the body on my knitting machine. So I will be using, I forget what kind of yarn it is. I forget the man's name. But this is the yarn. It's from Joanne. I bought, hopefully, enough black yarn for this project, and then 1 skein of white. We're just doing black and white. So I'm going to work up the body of the shirt on my knitting machine, then take it off of the knitting machine, transfer it to needles, hand knit the hand knit the color work and like the neck decreases or whatever, then I will be, I have not worked through how I'm going to do the back yet. But all of those big swaths of stockinette knitting in black is happening on the knitting machine. So what I need to do to get all of my math together is knit a swatch, a large swatch on my knitting machine, so that I can figure out how I can match that swatch with my hand knitting, and so that I can figure out how many stitches, how many rows, everything like that. But I'm very proud of myself for this chart. Like, I did it. So yeah, that's going to be a huge project that I'm working on soon. But I'm excited about it because it's something totally different than what I normally do, primarily because actually this kind of color work is probably going to be closer to the work that I did when I made my Little Wolfie socks. I think Little Wolfie was one of the most involved color work pieces that I have done, as far as creating it myself and then making it in real life. So I'm excited about that. Y'all will come along with me on that adventure. Yeah, so those are all of my maker plans. And we can go on to stash positions. I didn't check the straw first, but no worries, no ants. All right, these are my only two other stash positions that I wanted to mention. The colorway just really struck me, and I want to do like a short sleeve sweater, but a short sleeve tee with this, and I'm considering maybe crocheting it on a really loose gauge. I think that would be cool. But really, I just saw the colors and I was like, I love you, get in my basket. The colorway is macaroon, and this is Karen's Skinny Cakes from Michaels. I think it's 100% acrylic. Is it 100% acrylic? Yes, it is 100% acrylic. And this yarn is from the Dollar Tree. I was looking for something else in there, and I came upon like a new box of yarn, and this yarn is called Twist yarn. And if you look, like I think it's a 2-ply, and the twist is very, oh no, it's a 3-ply. The twist is very defined. I think I got 4 skeins of this. I'm not 100% sure what I want to do with it, but I just love I love the way the twist looks. I don't think 4 is enough for me to make any kind of garment. I might be able to eke out a tank top, possibly. But if not, probably some sort of tote bag situation, because as I said, bag lady. I really liked that. There was a green that they also had that, depending on what the experience is when crocheting with it, I might go back and see if I can get that green as well. That was everything for stash positions. Now, plant mama life and whatnot. Let me move this. So, last episode, I talked about how my Hoya carryi was like in imminent bloom. Like we were on bloom watch. And since then, it has bloomed. It has opened 3 blooms. And there are multiple blooms in various stages of development across the rest of this plant. Like, she's going off, and I love it. Like, it's giving me so much joy. So let me show you. Here she is. The Hoya Carrii is supposed to have heart-shaped leaves like this. As you can see, a lot of my plants' leaves are elongated. I'm not sure why. But these are blooms that will be opening soon. These are going to be the next ones that open. And as you can see right here, this is the third. Yeah. Please don't drip on me. She's Jessie. Okay. This is the most recent bloom to open. And oh, you can see the unopened ones closer. That's what the unopened ones look like. And then we'll do like this. This is the second one that opened, and as you can see, it's got open flowers and then another set that's opening, or that's developing in the middle. Go off, do you, boo? So the reason that she's got a little bald spot up here is because I cut off a couple of the flowers to take to work to show one of my coworkers. And then this one up top is the first one. This is the first one that bloomed. And as you can see, again, there's another set of flowers that's developing in the midst of that one, which I'm just constantly amazed with this plant. She is just having a wonderful time, and I'm very happy about it. Here at the tip here is going to be new leaves are developing there. Oh, I can show you what the peduncles. The peduncle is the part that the flower bit grows off of. This is what it starts off as. This little nubbin. That's what it starts off as, and then it develops into those. And it's so cool to watch. She's such a happy lady. I love it. That is my Hoya Carrii. I already told y'all about my cousin graduating, so that's my biggest life and whatnot thing. It was really fun to hang out with my family, to see my cousins, do a little chit chat. We played some games. After we went back to our Airbnb, my brothers, all of our significant others, and my dad and his wife, we all sat down and we played Uno No Mercy. That was fun. And it was just really fun to hang out with family, especially since I don't get to see my family a lot, since I'm in Florida and most of them are in Delaware. So I don't get to see them a lot. So when I do, I don't want to go to sleep. Let's just stay awake and talk to each other. So that was fun. That is everything, my friends. I hope you have a wonderful day. Leave a comment down below saying happy birthday to Tiffany, and or leave a comment of something good that happened to you, a bright spot to share with everybody. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. And if you're not, I hope that you are able to keep going for even just a few moments longer. Just keep holding on. Yeah. Thank y'all for being here. Thank you for being a part of my universe. Bye, friends.